Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Scholar Classes. Today we'll discuss the part 1 of the history lesson Print Culture and the Modern World. Can you all imagine a world without print matter? No, we can't. We find print everywhere around us in books, journals, newspapers, prints of famous paintings, and also in everyday things like theater programs, official circulars, calendars, diaries, advertisements, cinema posters, etc. We are all surrounded by prints wherever we go, isn't it? But where did this print come from? Does it have a history? Yes, it does have. It has a deep connection with East Asia. It was East Asia where the first printing technology was introduced. The first country in the world to introduce printing technology was China, Japan, and Korea. They used a system of hand printing. China began to print books by rubbing the paper against the inked surface of the wooden blocks. So, the traditional Chinese accordion book was used for most of this paper, which was thin and was folded and stitched at the sides. Now, let's look at the features of Chinese accordion books. Chinese accordion books were mostly hand printed and they came into use from AD 594 onwards by rubbing paper against the wood blocks. Since the paper was thin, both the sides of the paper could not be printed. Traditional accordion books were folded and stitched at the sides. Let me illustrate this with the help of a diagram. So you can see in the picture there's a wooden block with inked surface. So if you take a paper and rub this paper in it, it would look something like this, like a print. The paper used to be so thin that both sides of it could not be printed. Hence, nothing could be printed at the back page. For a long time, China was the major producer of printed material. China possessed a huge bureaucratic system which recruited its personnel through civil service examinations. Bureaucrats are the officers who work for the government. Textbooks for this examination were printed in a vast numbers under the sponsorship of the Imperial China. From the 16th century onwards, the number of examination candidates went up, that is, candidates increased, so to fulfill their demands, the number of volumes of print also increased. As the urban areas developed in China, the use of print also diversified. That means print was no longer used just by scholars or officers. Merchants used prints in their everyday life as they collected trade information. Reading increasingly became a leisure activity. That means people used to read book anytime wherever they felt free. The new readership preferred fictional narratives, poetry, autobiographies, anthologies of literary masterpieces. Anthology here means a published collection of poems or writings, and sometimes they also used to read romantic plays. With the passage of time, many technologies came into being, and the countries like China, Japan, and Korea started to import many new techniques from the European countries. Shanghai, a town in China, became a new center of print culture. Slowly, from hand printing, there was now a gradual shift to mechanical printing. That means people now started to use machines in place of hand printing. Buddhist missionaries from China introduced hand printing technology to Japan around AD 768 to AD 770. The oldest Japanese book printed in AD 868 is the Buddhist Diamond Sutra, containing 6 sets of text and woodcut illustrations. Like Shanghai in China, Tokyo also developed itself as an important center of print culture in Japan. So, friends, we come to an end of the discussion of part 1 of this chapter. If you like my video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.